Jai Gajanan. Ganeshaya Namastubhyam. Herambaya Ekadantine. Swanandavasine Tubhyam. Brahmanaspataye Namaha. With humble pranams to all Paramacharyas, Acharyas, and Gurus. Let us continue our study of Jnanasara from where we left off in the earlier session. We were looking at the conversation between Narada and Surya. Now, Narada is asking Surya, the elephant and the horse were generally the vehicles in ancient times. What is the reason for Mushak being considered as a vehicle in Vedas? Mushak is the rat or the mouse. Surya replies, Mushak is found everywhere and is looked upon as an intelligent vehicle. Stories about Mushaka as a vehicle has been narrated in the Vedas. Musha is a very hard and substance, and it's a metal crucible which is strong enough to hold Brahma himself. So all things with name and form revolves around Asad Brahma, or that which is not true. That is all which can be changeable, which is changing. And any enjoyer connected to these objects with name and form, for which he has an affinity for which he is drawn to, he is captured by them in delusion. Since his ego is deluded as the enjoyer, he does not know and he is lost in those enchantments. So he thinks himself to be the enjoyer. In fact, it is a Ishwara or that soul substance within him that is actually enjoying through him all that objects of enjoyment. So therefore, just like a Mushaka or rat, it it gnaws at things and eats them up. It is considered, it is generally considered as a thief. It can burrow into holes and steal off. Even if it's a metal, it will gnaw at it to an extent that it will get disappeared. So secretly, under the cover of Maya, this Mushaka, this Ishwara, he remains as a soul within each of us and in the play and he enjoys the play of Maya. Ishvara too lives in the heart of all living beings in his Turiya state. He establishes himself just like a thief, just like a rat, how it's a thief. So also he establishes himself as a thief in each of us and he enjoys all that we enjoy in daily life. Ishvara is a Turiya state himself and he becomes the vehicle as Pancham. So he himself has become the vehicle as Pancham. Pancham has transformed himself as a vehicle because he exists as a ansh or as a particle of the soul in each of us. Therefore, Pancham is addressed in the Vedas as Mushaka Vahana. Next, Narada's question is, Vishnu installed a linga at Kailash, which is worshipped by Ganeshwara, born in the elephant clan. Nandi performs the linga puja with devotion. It is also worshipped by the ancient Rishi Dadichi. The Lord becomes the form for enjoying oneness of being in the Brahmand or Brahmanaspati. Now, Ganesha's Ansh was born as the son of Shankara and Parvati, and he too is worshipped it with devotion, in turn, worshipping Brahmanaspati. Oh Lord, tell me how this principle works that is making something impossible out of nothing. How does it work? Surya replies, going back in time, Gajasambhava was born to Parvati from the semen of Shiva when they had transformed themselves into elephants. and engaged in amorous play. So that was how Gajasambha was born, and as such, Gajamukha Daitya became an Ansh of Vignapa. Because he is also born in the family of gods with an elephant face as an Ansh of Shiva, since later he was born as since he is born with an Ansh of Shiva with an elephant face, there's no one else with he is considered godly, and therefore there's no one else with a face resembling with the face of an elephant and a body of a human, three-eyed, sporting a moon on his head with an elephant's face, symbolic of Ganesha, while his body was of Lambodara. Shiva's son did not have an elephant's head in the beginning. He was just like a human being. But after he was beheaded, he was given a replacement of this Gajasura, and thus he got an elephant's face. And he also got the position of Vignadipati, that is the one who is a lord of obstacles. He was already a lord of obstacles, now he was a lord of remover of obstacles. So, in answer to Shiva's question and in fulfillment of his own promise, he himself, Brahma himself, had given a promise that he'll be born as Shiva's son. Excuse me. He was initiated into the Ekakshara mantra of Ganesha as prescribed. As a result, he became celebrated among thousands to be the first worshipped and hailed as Lord Vignesha. He became the same Vignesha became husband of Siddhi Buddhi. The whole worshipped this Ganesha as Brahmanaspati, sporting the symbol resembling Brahma for carrying on his leelas. He is the authority over obstacles within the principal elements on the worldly plane. This Ganesha resides happily in Swarga Swananda in Kailash as Ganesha. Just as we had Brushindi on earth, who was a human being with because of his devotion to Ganesha, he developed a shund, that is a trunk of an elephant on his nose. So also we have this Ganesha in Swargaswananda. Now here, he was made as Ganapati, that is in charge of all the Ganas in Shivaloka, and Shiva, that is husband of Parvati, he himself was a father of Ganesha and he was also Guru. So he worshipped his Guru in extreme solitude. As a god with elephant face, his father Shankara, who was his own guru, also worshipped Vignapa with devotion. So Gajanana is a favorite god of Kaladev, whom he worshipped internally in his heart and his reflection externally through archana, puja, and worship. So, Om Ishwara, there is nothing like the puja and service of one's guru. So, born without Shiva, Vishnu replaced the face of Shambhu's son. Vishnu, who installed Linga, cut the Gajamukha's head. That Gajamukha worshipped Linga installed by Vishnu. His head was used to replace the head of Shiva's beheaded son and brought to life. So recall that story which I told earlier. Gajasura, who was a devotee of Vishnu, he wanted moksha, or he wanted liberation. So Vishnu himself told him to worship Shiva, and so he was doing penance of Shiva, intense penance, just waiting for liberation. So when this boy, the son of Parvati, who was beheaded by Shiva, and they went in search of the head of a head for replacement. They found this Gajamukha's head was waiting to die. And so the devotee of Vishnu he became an instrument for bringing back to life the son of Shiva. So that is, and this son of Shiva actually worshipped the linga, which was installed by Vishnu at Kailash. So Adaitya Mushak became the vehicle for Gajanana, and Ganesh became totally identified with him. He worshipped his guru as a linga wholeheartedly. Indeed, there's no one like Ganesha. Om Ishwara. So next question of Narada is, in Ganesha's incarnation as Mayuresha, Shankara introduced the practice of Ganesha to be first worshipped before in all pujas. I am interested to know how the Lord as Shiva's adopted son is the greatest. Why is considered Jeshta Raja? Surya replied, pleased with Shiva's penance, Ganesha had agreed to be born as a son. When Shiva did penance, he manifested in his heart as a Jyoti, and he decided to be born as a son. I agreed, gave a boon that he'll be born as a son. It was Shankara who made it customary of him being the first worshipped before worship of any other thing, whether it's gods, puja, or any commencement of any auspicious work. Gautama and other munis who are there in Kailash also acknowledged this because they worshipped him for knowledge, for gaining knowledge of his form as a son would, and they worshipped him as a son, as their love for him towards him was like that of a son. Gajanana gave the world through Shiva. Through Shiva, he gave devotion to a father. It is how a father adopts a son, so also it is in the same way that Ramchandra, Sri Ram, when he ruled his kingdom as Hari, he is second to none. So Narada asks then, what are the evidences of Ganesha as Shiva's son? Surya replied, in Shivopanishad, it is dedicated, which is dedicated to Sri Rudra. There is a mention Ganebhyascha, and also Yancha Vinayakascha in Shivopanishad. Shiva himself tells Jabala and about the suktas and Vedas of all the four devas, where this Ganesha is addressed as Brahmanaspati. There is a mention of Dashashanti Mahabhaga, Dashashanti or Mahabhaga in the Shatopanishad of Rudra about Ganapa mantra for use during puja as Shiva's son. Ganapas alone worship Ganesha as Brahmanaspati and use the Rudra mantra during worship of Vignadayak. Veda Parayan itself pleases him, no doubt. Purusha Suktas are chanted to please Ganesha. The same Suktas are used for puja of Gananatha as Gunapa puja. This has the agreement of all Puranas and Veda Shastras as well. Ganesha Brahmanaspati is verily Atma of Ganesha. Ganesha's Deha is the form of Turya Ganesha. So, from Turya Ganesha, an Ansh aspect was born as Shiva's son Ganesha. So while this Ganesha, an Ansh aspect of Ganesha, which is the Turya form of all the four Brahmas, Shiva, Vishnu, Mahesh and Shiva, this Ganesha, since he agreed to be a part of Swargaswananda of Kailash, and he worshipped the linga installed by Vishnu, and he was born as the As a result of the boon given by Brahma himself to be born as his son, he was elevated as the first worshipped, and he was elevated as Ganapati, and he was also elevated as a Jeshta Raja, and he is the one who is worshipped as Brahmanaspati with the agreement of all the Vedas and Shastras. Then Narada asks, O Dinanayaka, tell me about Ganesha Dharma. What is this Ganesha Dharma? What are the practices that are to be followed? How is a Ganesha, one who is a devotee of Ganesha, conduct himself? Surya replies. He gives a certain the practices which Ganapa has to follow. Wearing the sindoor, smearing the body with a holy red sandalwood paste, and applying tilak with sindoor over the red sandalwood paste, wearing a chain of shammi, shwetark or mandar beads, wearing red robes and doing japa of Ganapa. Third, doing mantra japa of the six or the single lettered mantra with singular devotion, doing Ganesha puja and observing Ganesh Chaturthi. Fourth, chanting the Atharvashisham Brahmanaspati Sukta Shatopanishad of Pancharatna. Fifth, contemplation and listening to reading of the Puranas. During the Shravan month, doing the monthly puja, contemplation on Vinayaka with total devotion. Then sixth, service to the Lord in the temple in his own town, serving Lord Mayureshwara for 1 week in 12 years. That stretch of 1 week in every 12 years in Mayuresh. Performing Brahmanaspati Homa or Yajna, etc., chanting the mantras and praising Ganesha with devotional songs, etc. And lastly, doing Siddhi Puja in Vaishak, Buddhi Puja in Ashwin, and Ganaka Puja on Ashad Purnima. This is the Ganapat Dharma which is mentioned in the Ganesha Upanishad, and it should never be given up by a Ganesha Dikshit. There are no prescribed rules as such for those who are uninitiated, but they will get the fruits according to their actions and efforts put in. After having a morning bath, the Ganapa worship does the puja japa after wearing the pundram of Ganapata on different parts of the body by chanting the appropriate mantras. There's a detailed description on how one should apply the sandalwood paste and the tilak and everything. So it says one should not apply the red sandalwood paste, tilak without having a bath. It is essential to apply the red sandalwood paste at the end of the puja as well. For applying sindoor, having a bath is a must. The purpose of wearing the pundram is to remove all impurities present earlier. Then one should apply the sindoor before going to bed at night, at Brahma Muhurta in the morning, and during pujas. During puja, we can apply sindoor to God as well. It is one should apply the sindoor dust or tilak by a Ganapat 8 times or at least thrice a day. Japa and puja should be done as prescribed. Doing japa twice a day and Sandhya Vandanam is ideal. Puja should be done at least once a day as prescribed. If a person is staying in the kshetras, then he can do seva in the evening. It's also necessary to do the Nitya Yatra in the morning. Nitya Yatra of all the deities on the surrounding praharam of the main central deity. Then one should listen or read the Puranas, contemplate at least one chapter of Vinayaka or any of the 6 Puranas or its commentaries with devotion. Then one should do Namaskar to Ganapata, Shaivas and others. Be affectionate when you see an ascetic, Shaiva and other persons. If you happen to see anyone on your way, bow down as prescribed, as though it is like a bowing down to Ganesha, a reverential king, or any other person wholeheartedly. Shaivites or any other Ekamarga followers, those who follow a single path, including Samarthas, people may be initiated or uninitiated. A Ganapath who is uninitiated is considered as a Smartha. Of them, some of them may be established either in the Karma Marga or others may be Bhaktas or by following the Upasana Marga of worship. However, those who are established in Jnana Marga, they follow the Jnana Yoga and they have to be initiated. Even among them, the initiated are considered best as there is evidence of it or there is a recommendation in Veda Shastras. Upasak of the lords are devoted to knowledge. Among those initiated into yogis into nirvana, they require nirvana diksha. Particularly those who are aiming for liberation, they take the nirvana diksha and they are considered worshipful in order of excellence. Between them, the initiated Bhakta yogis are worshipful. Ganesha establishes among them and receives their worship. Now, here, before the initiated, if the parents are uninitiated, they should bow down before the initiated son. The initiated should not give up sandhyas, rituals, and japa. Doing external puja for virility, for lack of virility, for progeny, for studies, or for getting work done are to be done with the manasa puja. But due to lack of strength, one should not give up observing external puja. Puja means due to weakness or not able to do. Even when you're in weak health, try to do at least once the external puja, or if one or one is not able to do the external puja, do the manas puja. A puja should not be done with a ganapa when the ganapa is angry or for selfish purposes. You should bathe in flowing waters and then do puja while fasting. Do not touch the image or yantra. Touch only the stone idol of the Lord. During puja, avoid eating any food. During Visesha Diksha, that is special initiations, one should do puja of stone idol. In a Mahavisesha Diksha, that is extraordinarily special initiation, one should do puja of the image of the stone idol. Ganapa Dharma Sangraha defines that for a Jnana Diksha, for initiation into the knowledge of Ganesha, one should do puja of Yantra image and stone idol. The worshipper should apply the tilak of the sindoor, dust, and red sandalwood paste. Where the Rudraksh get the puja done through an initiated Vaidika. Other rituals is according to one's capacity, that is, what offerings you will make, or whether you will have a homa, or whether you'll have whatever kind of japa you want to do, and how many times the number of japa you have to do. All that is pre-decided according to, in discussion with the Vedika. Then Narada is asking, O Jagat Guru, asking Surya, O Jagat Guru, please tell me of a Ganesha's, that is a Ganesh devotee's daily karmas. What does he do daily? Surya replies, after waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, at Brahma Muhurta, he has a bath, cleanses oneself, applies sandalwood paste, sindoor or holy ashes on the body. Then he sits for meditation on the glowing face of Ganesha, husband of Siddhi Buddhi in his heart. Then he does Manasa Puja as per Rishi Gritsamada's instructions. He prostrates by touching his head at the feet of Gananayaka, worships the earth with Panchayatana Ratnakam. Recite Suprabhatam Panchakam while getting up. And when a Ganapat wakes up, he first moves toward the southwest direction. There, he passes off stools, urine, and get cleansed properly. He should wash and brush his teeth, then go to a river or a stream or a well or a tank or whatever is available for having a bath. The initiate should have bath in the morning before other work. Getting purified externally begins the purification internally, and that pleases Brahmanaspati Ganesha. Before having a bath in Lord's sacred rivers like Brahmakamandalu or at Kshetras, a Ganapa should do a sankalpa, that is, set an intention. After praying to Bhairava, one should pray to the water, chanting the Kamandala Stotra, and stotras and praise of the Tirtha Kshetra. Then bathe in the waters, chanting the slokas one by one. After repeating 31 times, one should dip in the water a few times. Thereafter, meditating on Sudha Ganapati, he should touch his heart and arms with water and sprinkle it all over. He would then do japa of Sudha Bija mantra 100 times or 10 times. Dip in the water and again chant the mantra. Then chant the Gananatha Gayatri mantra 10 times and sprinkle water above his head. If one is doing tarpanam or ancestral rites to Munis, then he will have a bath again. Tarpanam for one's own ancestors for pleasing demigods or for dhanam. Then there is also then he also keeps keeping the tuft of hair on the head and having a bath after doing such work. Then he removes the wet clothes to avoid getting ill. Dry the clothes and then wear them. One should not do work for Tarpanam without wearing clothes, O Munishwara. Ganapats performing ancestral Vedic rites should wear a tuft of hair on the head. Then the afternoon puja includes japa, touching the various parts of the body, that is nyasa, a detailed bath after doing karmas, ancestral karmas. You should have a bath. The best of Dikshit Ganapas wear red colored robes. This also applies to those of Varnashrama Dharma. Chanting the Ganesh Gayatri, one should apply the Sindur dust. Sindur is applied on the head, forehead, heart, ears, throat, stomach, upper arm, forearms, and on the back, totaling 22 places on the body, and a tilak of red sandalwood paste saying the 22 names. While wearing the tripundram, the round pundram should be of red sandalwood paste, applied on only the forehead. A sindoor tilak is applied between the eyebrows. He should wear the rudraksha while doing the sandhya. One can wear a single rudraksha on the tuft on the head or strung on a thread as well. One can wear a chain of 42 rudraksha beads around the neck and two in the ears. One can wear 6 beads individually and separately, or 108 beads around the waist and 27 around each arm. One can also wear 18 or 21 beads in a string for recitation. Ganapa may wear one rudraksha on the head for worship. Sometimes they tie it around on the forehead. The 12 names of Ganapa are first Swanandavasi, then Ganaraja, Gajakaranam, Shurpakarana, Vignaraja, Heramba, Siddhinatha, Buddhinayaka, Lambodara, Vakratunda, Chintamani, and Dundiraja. So all karmas are connected to these 12 names. Mantras chanted with Tara Bija along with the name of the deity while applying the tilak or smearing the body before doing Ganapa's work. The chanting should be done with plain hands or with the rudraksha. Even with plain hands, you can count on these lines on your fingers. Then say the Swanandesh at the head. Gajava. When you say the various names, you say Swanandesh at the head, Gajavaktra at the throat, Lambodara on the stomach, Vakratunda and Ekadanta at the ears, Vikata Vignaraja on the arms, Mahodara Dumraketu while tying the bead, and Ganesha Brahmanaspati on the sacred head, sacred thread. A Ganapa should chant these 12 names along with Tara Bija and the name of Ganeshwar. All Vaidika should say this while wearing Rudraksha and applying paste on different parts of the body before doing Mantra Sandhya. This is applicable for all three Varnas. Varnas means the stage of life. Those belonging to other Varnas like Suta, Shudra, Magad and others, they do work according to Tantra Marga. For doing Japa of Ganesha in Gayatri, add Mula Mantra of the Supreme. After Bija and Nama mantra chanting, a Ganapa should do Varna Sandhya according to the sutras. After Japa and Mataram, they shield their bodies by reciting the Kavacha. There is a Ganesh Kavacha Stotra. Then Durva and flowers should be offered while chanting other slokas. The procedure to be followed in a Brahma Yajna of Ganapa involves reading Suktas and Upanishads. This includes Ganesh Darshan or Puranas or contemplation and inquiry into the meanings and their recitations. After puja it is preferred to do at least once a day. At night, one can have a collective puja in a group. If the puja is done in a group, it should be followed by darshanas. That is description of darshanas. After puja, there can be a reading of Upanishad or Ganesh Gita. So those who want to follow this Ganesh Marga should include all these aspects into their daily routine with devotion. Inquiry of Puranas is more important than eating. It is necessary to do Archana, Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedyam to the Supreme, including Niranjanam at night. The evening Sandhya should be completed before the end of the third quarter of the day, including other work expected of a Ganapath. So all these are Nitya Karmas, the daily karmas that you should do from morning, afternoon and night. And you can do Archana also at night, that is chanting the 108 names. We can do Archana even by chanting the Trishati, the 300 names on Tuesday and Friday, and then with 1008 names on Ganesh Chaturthi. Can offer coconut modak to the Lord on vrata when you observe a vrat. Modak should be specially offered to Brahmanaspati Ganesha on Chaturthi day. Jaggery milk pulses cooked along with rice is inappropriate portion is a favorite dish of Ganesha. Eating prasad on days of fasting is not considered a sin. So you can eat that prasad on fasting days also. Some people say that I'm fasting today, I will not even touch prasad. No, that's not true. Besides giving him strength, it also makes his day successful. Then one should do the mantra chanting of the single lettered mantra at least 10 lakh times. and the lettered mantra in 6 lakh times. This is in a year. So you can space it out and accordingly chant 10 malas, 20 malas, or whatever according to your capacity, time available. So this was a description of the Nitya daily karmas of a Ganapa and how he should follow these practices during the course of the day. With this, we conclude the session here, but we shall carry on with the Jnanasaras, study of Jnanasara of the first part of the Vinayaka Rahasyam in the next session as well. Jai Gajanan.